Welcome to the Kiva Partner Academy. In this lesson, we will learn how to report repayments to Kiva.
At the end of this lesson, you should be able to understand the purpose of repayment reporting, understand the repayment reporting deadline, and prepare, upload, and finalize a repayment report in Kiva's Partner Admin System, PA2.
This lesson is intended for the Kiva coordinator. You will be responsible for accurately reporting repayments to Kiva on a monthly basis. First, we will learn what repayment reporting is and why it is important. Repayment reporting is the monthly process you will use to inform Kiva of how much money you have collected from each borrower who has an outstanding loan with Kiva. Repayment reporting is an important requirement of partnering with Kiva. It serves two main purposes. Risk transfer. Kiva lenders carry the full risk of a Kiva loan. Your organization only needs to remit to Kiva the funds that you have actually collected from the borrower, even if they paid less than they were expected to. Therefore, it is important for you to provide Kiva with accurate repayment information before we prepare the invoice each month. Second is the borrower-lender connection. The Kiva model is based on a personal connection between borrowers and lenders. In order for this model to work, Kiva lenders must have accurate and timely information on how their borrowers are doing. If you fail to report the repayment amount for a particular loan, Kiva will invoice you based on the repayment schedule that you originally uploaded with the loan, the expected repayment schedule. In other words, Kiva will assume that the borrower is paying back on time and will invoice you accordingly. If the borrower is actually delinquent, there are two negative consequences. You will lose the benefit of risk transfer. That is, you'll be paying Kiva a larger amount than you actually received from the borrower. And the borrower-lender connection will be broken because lenders will no longer have accurate information on how the borrower is doing. Here is an example that illustrates these consequences. Let's say that you posted a loan in PA2 with the following repayment schedule. Based on this schedule, Kiva will expect you to collect $100 in principal by the end of January. Let's say the borrower is delinquent and has only repaid $80 by the end of January. If you report that the borrower has only repaid $80, Kiva will only invoice you for $80. However, if you fail to report the repayment amount for this loan, Kiva will assume that the borrower is paying back on time and will invoice you for $100. This means that you will be required to send Kiva an extra $20 that you haven't actually collected from the borrower. In addition, lenders will no longer have accurate information on how the borrower is doing. Don't let this happen to your organization. Make sure that you accurately report repayments each month. Refer to Lesson 3.1 for more information about how the repayments that you report will affect the amount that Kiva invoices your organization.
Because repayment reporting is a requirement of partnering with Kiva, please note there are more severe consequences if you consistently fail to report repayments month after month. After 3 months of failing to report repayments, your ability to fundraise will be paused. This means that you will not be permitted to raise any new funds until you resume reporting repayments.
Next, let's learn how to prepare the file that you will use to report repayments in PA2. The repayment report should be a 2-column CSV file that includes the following information for each Kiva loan that is in paying back status. In column 1, you will put the loan ID. Note, if loan IDs are not unique within your organization, that is, 2 clients can have loans with the same loan ID, contact Kiva for more information on how to report repayments. You will need to use a slightly different report format that includes both loan ID and client ID. In column 2, you will include the principal outstandings as of last day of previous month or cumulative principal repaid as of last day of previous month. This depends on your account setting. Do not include payments received during the current month. For example, when you were preparing the report for January, please only include the amount as of January 31st. Here is an example of a CSV repayment report. CSV stands for comma-separated values. It is a file format that is used to store data. You may be able to export data from your MIS as a CSV. You can also save a spreadsheet as a CSV using Microsoft Excel or another spreadsheet tool. You will need to upload the repayment report once per month. You should begin preparing the report on or after the first of the month, as soon as all repayment data from the previous month has been updated in your MIS. You must upload your report in PA2 no later than the 12th of the month. For example, by February 12th, you must report to Kiva all the repayments you collected as of January 31st. This deadline is the same regardless of whether the 12th falls on a weekend or holiday. Now that we know how to prepare a repayment report, let's learn how to upload the report in PA2. This video is recorded in Kiva's test system, so please disregard the orange banner at the top.
To log into PA2, enter your email address and password. Click the Repayments tab. At the top, you will see the number of loans for which Kiva expects you to report repayments.
In other words, this is the minimum number of loans that should be in your CSV. However, the total number of loans that you report may be higher than this amount if there were repayments from loans that were not expected during a given month.
You will also see the amount of repayments that Kiva will use to calculate your invoice. Currently, this amount is based on the expected repayment schedules that were originally uploaded with the loans. But, as you report repayments, this amount will adjust to reflect the actual amounts that you report. To begin reporting repayments, click the Upload Your CSV button and select the CSV file on your computer. Review the repayments page to see the results of your upload. The Error section lists any loans that have errors. An error indicates that PA2 is not able to use the information you reported because there is a problem with either the loan ID or the amount. Click the question mark for more information on what each error means and how to correct it. If an error is not resolved, PA2 will ignore the row in your report and you will be invoiced based on the expected repayment schedule for the loan rather than the amount in your report. The Warning section lists any loans that have warnings. A warning indicates that the amount reported is different from the amount that Kiva expected. The amount reported may be correct, but Kiva flags it so you have the opportunity to check before you finalize your report. Click the question mark for more information on what each warning means and how to correct it if necessary. Finally, the No Warnings and Errors section lists loans that do not have errors or warnings. Now that you have reviewed the results of your upload, you will need to correct any loans with errors. You should also correct any loans with warnings where the amount reported is inaccurate. To download a CSV that contains only those loans with errors and warnings, click the Correct Warnings and Errors button. In the pop-up box, use the checkboxes to select the error and warning types you want to correct and click the Download CSV button. Remember that you may not need to correct all errors and warnings. For example, if the prepaid and delinquent loans you uploaded were accurately reported, you do not need to correct these warnings. Once you have downloaded the CSV, carefully review it for details on the loans with errors and warnings. Then, make the necessary corrections. In this example CSV, we have one loan with an error because we have reported an amount outstanding that is greater than the loan amount. We will need to look up the correct amount in our MIS and then enter it in the report. We also have two loans with warnings because they have been reported as delinquent. These loans are flagged so that we can double check that the amounts are accurate before finalizing the report. Let's say that the reported amount is accurate for one of these loans. In this case, there is nothing to correct and we can leave the amount as is. But let's say that the reported amount is inaccurate for the other loan and that it is actually on time rather than delinquent. In this case, we will need to correct the amount in the report. Once you have corrected the loans in the CSV, make sure you save the file. Then, click the Upload Another CSV button and select the corrected CSV on your computer. It is important to note that if you report on the same loan ID more than once, the system only takes the most recent report into account. Review the repayments page again to see the results of your latest upload. If there are still any errors and warnings, you may need to repeat the previous steps to correct them. Towards the bottom of the page, there is a section titled Cumulative Information Reported. This shows you a summary of all the errors, warnings, and on-time reports that will be included in your report if you choose to finalize it now. It takes into account all of the CSVs that you have uploaded, as well as any repayments you have reported on individual loans. Once you are ready to submit your report to Kiva, click the Review and Finalize button. Your report will not be sent to Kiva until you finalize it. On the Finalize Your Report page, check the boxes next to each row to acknowledge that you understand the results of your upload, including any remaining errors and warnings. Review the Repayments to be Invoiced amount. This is the amount of repayments that Kiva will use to calculate your invoice based on what you reported. If there are any remaining warnings and errors, please enter an explanation. This should be a summary and does not need to include information about each individual loan. Finally, enter your name and click the Finalize My Report button. By finalizing your report, you are confirming that what you reported is accurate and complete. Your report has now been sent to Kiva. On the Repayments tab, you can confirm that you have now reported on all the loans that Kiva expected you to. And you can see that Kiva has adjusted the amount to be invoiced based on what you reported. Now that you've completed this lesson, you should be able to understand the purpose of repayment reporting, understand the repayment reporting deadline, and prepare, upload, and finalize a repayment report in Kiva's Partner Admin System, PA2.
Thank you for completing this lesson of the Kiva Partner Academy. Hope to see you again soon.